Hello everyone. The story I'm going to tell is my experience of a UFO. I can't supply a photograph of the object, but I'd like you to keep in mind a full moon, very bright in the sky on a clear, cloudless night, because this is what we thought was above our house. It was around 1971-72 that my wife and I had taken our young daughter to an Irish dancing competition. She was around about 7 or 8 at the time, and the troubles were quite bad here at that particular moment in time, and although it was about 3 miles walk to the house from our house in a village, we decided to walk because you had to leave someone in a car if you wanted to park in the nearby town centre. So we decided to walk there and back. Well, we're on our way home about 11:30 that night, and it's a very narrow country winding lane that leads to our village, and we were then the first house in the village on the left-hand side. Now, half a mile away from our house, as we came round the bend, the road swerved round to the right, which gave us a view of our house on the left. And I said to my wife, "Right, look how low that moon is. I've never seen it as low as that before. It's almost on top of our house." Well, we continued round the bend, and of course we then had a clear view of the whole village. The ground sloped down, so we had a clear view of the whole village. And there was the proper moon shining away in the sky in its normal position. Now, the real moon and the moon, if we call it that, above our house appeared to be the same size and certainly the same colour and the same brightness. Both were glowing at exactly the same rate. Well, this concerned us because we couldn't understand how this could happen, but anyway, we slowly approached the house, and as we did so and stood opposite the house, we tried to fathom out, what is it? Could it be a balloon? Now, you do get balloons that aren't completely filled. They undulate sometimes, but never in a perfectly still position. And the whole of this round moon was, it was as if it was breathing. It was, the front of it was moving rhythmically in and out, like the chest of a person breathing normally, shall we say. So this had us mystified. It obviously wasn't a mirror image that was reflecting on a cloud or anything like that, because there weren't any clouds, and this pulsation had me absolutely stumped, and so I said to my wife, I said, "Look, I'm just going to take a few paces down the road to see if this thing is a globe, if it's circular," because as we'd come round the bend half a mile away, it just appeared to be a round circular disc. Well, now we stood opposite, it was still a round circular disc, and it wasn't really possible to tell whether it had the shape of a globe. So I took a few paces down towards the village when my wife suddenly called out, "Keith, it's moving." Well, I estimated that this moon was about twice the size of our house, with about 100-foot diameter, and it was suspended about 100 foot above the house. As I rushed back to my wife and daughter, it was moving very slowly away to the left, which is just fields, and when it got to the middle of the field, it momentarily hesitated, maybe for about 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden at absolutely immense speed it shot up into the sky at a 45-degree angle. It kind of got smaller and smaller until it was about the size of a full dot, and then it disappeared, but it had kind of left a trail of light in its wake due to the amazing speed at which it shot off up into the sky. Now this wasn't the exhaust of an engine or anything like that. It was merely, I got the impression it was merely the light moving faster than our eyes could follow, kind of thing. Well, we didn't feel frightened, but we were left with the abiding impression that as we were looking at it, it was looking at us. No, there were no windows or there was nothing. It just looked like a silvery moon. And well, a few days later, this was probably on the Wednesday night, and on the Saturday when the County Down Spectator, which is the weekly local paper, was published, it reported that people in a nearby town about 5 miles away called Newton Ards, on the same night there were people in the square. They'd been in the main square of this town. They'd been stood with their back to these buildings behind them, with the square open in front of them, and these objects were shooting across the sky, like going across over the square. And the people there, they thought these were UFOs, and this is why they reported them. Well, we hadn't reported ours, but and we didn't at the time, because the descriptions in the paper, the UFOs that they'd seen, didn't bear any resemblance to the one that we'd seen. Well, this experience is still as clear in our memories as it was on the night all those years ago. Through the years there have been programs about UFOs on television, and a month or two ago we were watching one where I think he was a policeman in Todmorden in Yorkshire. He was describing his experiences of a UFO, and one of the images on the screen was very similar to a full moon, and that's what brought back the memory of our particular experience. So I hope you might have been interested in what I've had to say, and it might tie in with some other UFO experience that you either had yourself or a friend has had. But in any event, I thank you for watching. Thank you very much indeed.